Hi, I'm catiewahwah and welcome to my vinyl grotto. Today, in the spirit of the season, I'm going to be showing you my Christmas record collection because I realized I have quite a few records. There's something about Christmas records that whenever I'm out like digging through crates, I'm just always drawn to them. There's something about the way that they follow like a set theme and then they also don't. Every artist tries to subvert that festive genre in some way. I also feel like growing up, music was really important to my celebration of Christmas. I remember we had this one Christmas CD and we would listen to it on loop until it literally just skipped through every song. I believe it used to skip specifically through the Gary Glitter song, which I think was our CD trying to tell us something. I always love the kind of music around Christmas, and I love the way that suddenly everyone's like into easy listening music and they're like, yeah, we always like people like that. Always. Do you? So I'm just going to get straight into my record collection. This is kind of a precursor video to a series that I have coming up in 2017, so be ready for that because it's going to be pretty fun. Let's crack into it. So the first record that I'm going to talk about in my collection has just featured in my most recent video in my vintage vinyl haul. This is December Will Be Magic Again by Kate Bush. As I said in the haul video, I had no idea that this single even existed until I found it at this record fair, and it's just so magical. Like, I love Kate Bush and I love the way that she's taken those very specific Christmas tropes and kind of subverted them in this. Again, it was a track that I had no idea about. I've just kind of been discovering it this season and it was really exciting to find that. The next Christmas record in my collection is Merry Christmas from the White Stripes. This is a really cool little 7-inch. As you can see, it has a little sign like they're selling lemonade or something and it says Christmas cheer $3, which I think is really cute to have in the little artwork for that. I love pretty much anything that Jack White does, so it's like, of course it's going to be brilliant. But what I really like about this is that it's Candy Cane Children on one side, which is like their little Christmas song. And then on the other side, they have Meg White reading like a little Christmas story. So it's the story of the Magi and just kind of wishing Christmas cheer to everyone, which I think is really sweet. And it feels like a proper old Christmas record because there is that little personal message in there. So I really love this one. The next record in my collection is Last Christmas by Wham. This is such a classic song. I can't explain how much I love it so much just from like the artwork alone. I remember I found this in a secondhand bin and I was like, what is this? I need it. It wasn't even Christmas at the time, but it was like randomly really cheap. There's like all the lyrics inside the gatefold and then there's a little story in here. There's just like a really funny little picture in here as well where it says, but all good things must come to an end and countless Wham split stories are realized as Rudolph Ridgely is struck down by a rabid enemy husky. That's such like a specific little in-joke about Wham and Enemy and like how they were being portrayed as a band at the time. This image is just full of 80s Christmas cheer. The next record in my Christmas collection is Christmas in Hollis, and this is by Run DMC. It's a 7-inch single and it's backed with Peter Piper. Christmas in Hollis is again just such a cool track. Like, it's very Christmassy, but it has that distinctly hip-hop Run DMC style to it. I also love this because it's got Keith Haring artwork on it and his stuff is amazing and so iconic. Probably even if you aren't familiar with him, you recognize this kind of style. Haring's stuff is fantastic and I definitely recommend looking it up a bit more because it's really good. The artwork alone would have been reason enough for me to buy this, but I also just love the single. And it's one of those ones that's quite hard to find in any main Christmas albums. It doesn't really fit into many Christmas genres, I think, but that's one of the reasons I love it. And then on the inside in the gatefold, they've got like the whole wrap, which is pretty cool and quite nice to have because you can kind of pretend that you can rap along with it. That's a really cool one. Love spinning that. The next record in my Christmas collection comes from my very first vintage vinyl haul, and if you remember way back to that video, then you'll know that I found this record for £1 at a record fair. This is the Now Christmas album and it's the original one. Interestingly enough, I've noticed that this has actually been reissued recently and they're selling it for like £20 and I'm like, but I bought it for £1 and sure, it's like a little bit torn up, it's kind of coming apart at the seams, whatever. It plays nicely, I get to chill out to some Christmas music, it's awesome. I don't really need I wish it could be Christmas every day in sort of 180 gram precision, but I mean maybe some people like that, I don't know. I like it as well because it's a compilation of a lot of tracks I grew up listening to. I also like this album because it has a very little known Queen Christmas track called Thank God It's Christmas, which doesn't really make it onto any albums anymore, but it's like a great one. It's also got classics like White Christmas sung by Bing Crosby and the amazing Happy Christmas War Is Over by John Lennon and Yoko Ono. The next record in my collection is a reissue. This is A Jolly Christmas from Frank Sinatra, and it's full of his amazing voice, his amazing style, and just singing through the Christmas classics. It's also pressed on lovely green vinyl, so it looks really nice as well. One of the things I really like about this is that it just feels like a proper classic reissue. The way that it's got this lovely little blurb on the back that describes like Christmas and why Frank Sinatra was the perfect choice for this album. I just really love that extra detail that it gives. This was also pressed on virgin vinyl for anyone who's interested in that, and it's 140 gram, so it's like a really nice quality record as well. Virgin vinyl is vinyl that hasn't been recycled, so a lot of records are actually made from old records that have been melted down and then repressed. Some people say that that affects the audio quality of the new records. I don't know how true that is, but I know that some people are like very into having virgin vinyl, which is like pristine. Also for colored records, if something is virgin vinyl, then the color is going to be clear throughout because there's not going to be a chance of any other colors being mixed in there or any other like shades of colors. The next record in my collection is A Christmas Gift for You from Phillies Records. This is Phil Spector's label. I'm just gonna put that out there. But if we can put that aside and appreciate the Ronettes, who didn't do anything wrong, this is a really great collection of some fantastic 60s artists who are just giving a new spin to some Christmas classics. I really enjoy this album. I think it's very atmospheric. It feels very much like an old Christmas movie. I also love how they're all posed in the front. It seems very obvious to me that all of these photos were taken at different times and they're all kind of cut and paste together, but I kind of love that aesthetic of just having all these people kind of cut and paste. It's like almost a bit Sgt. Pepper. The next record in my collection is the Beach Boys' Christmas album. This is a reissue again. I don't know if you could find this, the original, like for as cheap as the reissue is. I really like this album. I love the Beach Boys. I think the Beach Boys are very appreciated as a band, but I also think that they're sort of underappreciated in a weird way. Every track on this album has their style, and I love how they rework it with those harmonies. This is another album that ends with a special message from the band, so they wish you a Merry Christmas and then they sing Auld Lang Syne, and it's just so kind of, I don't know, it's so atmospheric and it makes you think about a specific kind of place. It's like they've come to visit you for Christmas, so I love this one. The next record in my collection is a compilation, and this is Motown Christmas. Again, a different style, a different way of interpreting Christmas songs. There are some classics here, there are some tracks that are mixed in from more modern artists. You've got people like Gregory Porter on here, but it's just a really nicely put together compilation. And Motown is split into Motown and also Motown Gospel, so there's a bit of gospel on there as well. The next record in my collection comes from an absolute legend. It's Elvis's Christmas album. Another record that I got for £1. I'm just saying, if you want lovely records, you can get them cheap. You just need to look. So this is Elvis's Christmas album. He obviously sings classics that we know him for, like Blue Christmas, and there's very much a bluesy style to all of these Christmas songs. They're all about lost loves, you know, like Santa Bring My Baby Back. This is actually my most recent Christmas purchase, and as I was listening to it, I started to realize I think Elvis Presley is kind of a male torch singer. There's this whole genre of women who sing about their lost loves and getting them back and how to win them back. And Elvis did the same thing, but we don't really think of him as being like a super hopeless romantic artist. We just think of him as being, oh, he's Elvis, he's got this style. But he sang so much about love and like his unhappiness in love. Just thought for the day. This is an English reissue, so it is on the RCA label, but it's on the Camden label through RCA. I also like the blurb on the back where it says, "So invite Elvis to be your guest this Christmas and through the year with this record. His talent is gift enough for everyone." So the penultimate album is from the absolute queen of Christmas. It's Mariah Carey and Merry Christmas. This is pressed on red vinyl. It's beautiful. Mariah Carey can do no wrong when it comes to Christmas. she rocks it. I don't know how she manages to just encompass the Christmas spirit. So obviously there's the classic, most well-known track, All I Want for Christmas Is You, but she also does Silent Night, Oh Holy Night, Joy to the World, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, a lot of carols more than Christmas pop songs, and she adds more of that gospel style to those songs, which I think is a really interesting thing to do in pop music. I also love the artwork on the inner sleeve of this. I think it's a really cool little scene that they've set up of her being frolicking in the snow, and you see all these like vintage photos of her. Also, I feel like Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without Mariah. So, Mariah. The very last record in my Christmas collection is also the most recently released one. This is A Very She and Him Christmas. So at least one of these people should look familiar to you, Zooey Deschanel. So this is a really cute, kind of slightly kitschy, modern album. They sing through a lot of Christmas classics, like Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Little Saint Nick, Blue Christmas, Baby It's Cold Outside. So it's like all of those classics, and they have such a distinctive style. I love the duets and how they kind of play along with each other's vocals. Something really cool about this record is that it also comes with a little Christmas card. So you get the digital download code for the record, and then you also get a little Christmas card from them where they're like, we hope you have a very Merry Christmas. I just think it's so cute to include that in the Christmas album, just like an extra little thought, because obviously most people who are buying the record are going to be playing it around Christmas, and it's just a little extra bonus from that. So that is my entire Christmas record collection. I hope that you enjoyed going through it with me, and maybe you've even been inspired to look up some Christmas records yourself. It's amazing how many artists have done special Christmas records. I really want to get like the Johnny Cash Christmas album, but I don't know where to even start looking for that. I think there have been some random artists that have been like, no, I'm gonna do a Christmas album. It's something that I think I'm going to be continuing to collect random ones. I don't feel like they fit into any of the genres that I have in my record collection, which is why I keep them as a kind of separate collection, and then I pull it out around November, December time and start playing them. Although I will say, if you're looking to get cheap Christmas records, look in July. If it's not the season, then they're just hidden away and they're pretty cheap in secondhand places because people aren't sure that anyone's actually looking for them. As soon as it comes to around December, November, everyone puts them to the front of the record stores in like the Christmas section, and they've probably marked up the price a bit. Just so you know, this is kind of a teaser video for the rest of my record collection, which will be coming soon. I'm going to be shooting that for 2017, and I'm going to be going through each genre of my record collection, showing you every single record. I haven't decided quite how I'm gonna like talk about the records, but it should be an exciting little event. So hopefully your interest is piqued and you'll want to stick around for that as well. Oh, and what's that? Chloé! Hello? It's a little puppy! It's a little puppy! A Christmas puppy! So thank you very much for watching. If you're new to my channel and you'd like to see more from me, then please do click subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video and you'd like Chloé's undying gratitude, then please do remember to click like. Be sure to let me know what your favorite Christmas record is down in the comments, and also if you've managed to find any really interesting Christmas records. So from me and Chloé to you and yours, have a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a crazy Kwanzaa, or however it is that you celebrate the winter solstice. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Oh, baby. Oh, boo. Hey, I'm catiewahwah, and this episode is pure clickbait.